Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag live if you're watching live. Hashtag replay if you're on replay. So, I think it's very important for us as human beings to know that when we get to a certain point in life, and this point is different for everyone, and that's the great thing about life is everybody's different. And the moment we start to realize and accept that and own it, the better off we're all going to be. But to my point, that the moment we start to realize that we don't really need to learn as much as we need to unlearn. And what I mean by that is this. When you get to a certain point in life, you've experienced so many things, good, bad, and indifferent. And, it almost it does on your brain. It wires your brain to have certain thoughts and feelings about future events, because you only have one way of predicting the future is to then go back to your experience in the past. Well, where this gets us tripped up is we can't predict the future. We can't produce it, or we can't predict it, because it's going to be what it's going to be. And if we have a shadow of past events that come into a future event, we're going to have worry, we're going to have fear, we're going to have all these different emotions, maybe anger, maybe depression, maybe anxiety, whatever it is. So I think it's very important to unlearn some of these patterns that we've exhibited in our life that cause us so much traumatic experiences, so much anxiety, so much angst, so much fear, so much worry about what the future is going to look like. So what I mean by unlearning is, we are curious beings by nature, and we have curiosity as it relates to certain things in life. A lot of it is external. The one thing that we're really not good at as a general rule is questioning our own self. And I'd like you to take a minute to ponder this. If you looked at some of your behavior patterns that you don't like, that are causing you to sabotage your fitness results, causing you to sabotage your nutrition, causing you to sabotage your relationships, what ultimately sabotages the relationship that you have with yourself. If you could take a moment, get real with yourself, to sit in it. Okay, I use that phrase a lot with my coaching clients, to sit in that emotion or emotions. Really be able to be the bigger person, okay? To show that emotional and maturity about yourself. Write those emotions down, write those behaviors down, and be able to train yourself on letting those go. Because I find when I coach people, for the most part, the same behavior patterns start to exhibit themselves over and over and over and over again. They just exhibit themselves in different aspects of our life, so they're kind of camouflaged as if to say there are multiple things, but it really kind of falls all down into that same feeling. Sometimes it's the feeling of not being enough, a feeling of you're going to screw something up, which is all kind of tied back into not feeling enough, right? So really being able to sit down and kind of get into those emotions and get into those behavior patterns that you exhibit over and over and over again. Give them life. Because when you give them life, you can then kill them. I know that sounds a little dramatic, but it really does help, and it's therapeutic enough for you to be honest and real with yourself, to write down this destructive pattern, to be able to unlearn it, to be able to destroy it. That's not going to happen overnight, but when it does happen, you can relieve yourself of all that anxiety, all that pain, all that fear, all those past events that have already happened, because as I've said 1,000 times, what could happen did happen and couldn't happen any other way, because it didn't. So us being able to unfuck ourselves, okay, to be able to unlearn some of these behavior patterns, some of this destruction that we cause ourselves over and over and over again. It doesn't have to be there. I mean, hashtag me, if you've got it in your mind right now, you know that destructive behavior pattern. You know what it is. It exhibits itself. It rears its ugly head. It sits on your shoulder and talks to you, but you can't do anything about it. Well, why can you not do anything about it? Because you don't do anything about it. You may not know what to do, and that's fine. But it's more important to ask for help, to ask for coaching, to handle this problem, to be able to dissolve this, not solve, but dissolve. Okay? It isn't about, putting a puzzle piece together. You have all that you need in your life right now. You don't have to search for happiness. You just need to take away the things that don't make you happy. You don't really need to solve problems. You just need to dissolve the things that stand in your way from being the best version of yourself. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on, in being a coach that can ask the questions to get you to really go in deep inside, to really touch on the things that you've been pushing off to the side. You know are there consciously and subconsciously, but you just haven't tackled them. You just haven't unlearned them. They're constantly there over and over, almost like the elephant in the room. It's the boogeyman underneath your bed. It's there, you know it's there, but you don't want to touch it and you don't want to acknowledge it. Now is the time to acknowledge it. Now is the time to get real with yourself. Don't be a fraud. Be the authentic self that you are, because you have every single thing that you need to be the best version of yourself right now. You don't need anything else. You just need to dissolve some of these issues that are blinding you to be the best that you can be, and separating all those things that you have in your life that don't make you happy, so that you can finally be happy with the life that you're leading. Hashtag value.